guys, Wave Squadron reporting in. I'm Eric.
Rick. I'm Calvin.
Aaron.
And we're back with Ahsoka. Last time on Ahsoka.
We learned more about the pathway to Purgills.
Yep.
In the Eye of Zion.
Yep.
They are taking hyperdrives. I think they took a hyperdrive from a Super
SSDs.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
I'm assuming not a solid state hard drive, right?
No.
So.
Well, it's not a solid state hard drive. It's just a solid state drive.
There you go.
Solid state and hard drive are antitheses.
Thanks, Calvin.
Solid State Society, like Ghost in the Shell.
Subscribe, because you learn
SSS.
No.
SSD.
And we had Chopper, and they got a tracker on there, so they should be able to follow to where the hyperdrive got taken.
Yeah.
Which was a
to
big
the Eye of
old
Zion.
ring.
Yeah.
Eye of Zion.
Absolutely. And that's it. We're going to be jumping right into this episode right now. Whoa! Big!
That's cool.
Right?
Not bad,
There's a low power lightsaber.
but not good,
That's so cool. It's like
been a
bamboo
while.
shoots.
obviously.
So you have to block at it like an oblique angle.
Enough to get by.
Barely.
How?
That's something you'll have to discover.
Well, I discovered that according to Huyang, I'm the worst candidate to be a Jedi out of every Jedi he's ever known.
You told her that?
It's true.
I can't see. How am I supposed to fight?
Zakachi after Sadawichi the Blind Swordsman, I bet.
That sounds about right. Thinking of Kanan.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know where I am?
Next to Huyang.
Are you sure?
Oh, she can throw her voice with the Force.
Man, Kevin Kiner's having so much fun in the show.
I know.
I like that she crosses the cut in the edit. That's so fun. Oh.
I'm disoriented.
Just the pinata technique.
Yeah.
She got better?
Yep.
She's gonna have to try harder than any Padawan.
Let's go again.
This is an easy training session. My master would have had me shot by clones.
Yeah.
Every time I messed up.
The Chancellor?
She's waiting. There are several senators with her. One of them is Xiono.
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 That's Kaz's dad, right?
Xiono.
And there's Mon Mothma.
Chancellor Mothma. Senators.
Tara, you look well. How's young Jacen?
Jacen.
Fine, Chancellor. In fact, he's on board.
Jacen.
Somewhere.
General, be honest. Isn't this just another attempt to gain New Republic resources to aid in what has ultimately been your personal quest to find Ezra Bridger?
Ezra vanished while fighting Thrawn.
And that you conveniently use a threat of Thrawn's return to acquire those resources that could be put to a more practical purpose, helping the people of our fledgling republic.
Come on, Xiono.
Were you ever in the war, Senator?
No.
Just sat back and waited to see who came out on top?
Yeah.
How dare he? You know who this is?
That went well.
Hey, Mom. Is it true Aunt Sabine is gonna be a Jedi?
Now, where did you hear that?
Green hair.
Chopper told me.
Yep. That's cool.
I want to be a Jedi.
Yeah, I know you do, Jason.
This little pauldron. You see it right here? Here's a little pauldron. Little baby pauldron.
Force resides in all living things, even you. If that's true, then why doesn't everyone use it? Talent is a factor.
Huyang said so.
Less talent, more genetics.
Not everyone can handle the type of discipline it takes to master the ways of the Force.
That's cool.
Start small.
Size matters not.
That's the
Ahsoka.
advanced course, Rick.
I'm going to give this my best.
And you're working with Anakin's son.
That's so hard. They just, if you're too old, they don't even try to teach it. And she's older.
Yep.
I don't need Sabine to be a Jedi. I need her to be herself.
Well, I suppose you do come from a long line of non-traditional Jedi.
Yeah.
In that way, she fits right in.
That's interesting.
Well, I would assume
Yoda,
that
Dooku, Qui-Gon,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, Anakin.
all of them are very different.
non-traditional Jedi.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be joining you for this one. And neither will the fleet.
What?
The Senate committee wouldn't approve the mission.
Dang it, Mothma didn't push him.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, Sabine. But it's not up to me.
Bring Chopper and the Ghost and find Zeb. Get Callus. I don't know.
There also seems to be a second object, something much larger.
A Star Destroyer?
Negative. Whatever it is has a signature which is unknown to me.
Oh,
We got
Tri-wings? Oh, no. Never mind.
they remind me of the.
they look like
I want to say
Grievous's ship a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Beelzebub 22 or whatever it is.
They have very World War II fighter look.
Tailgun, please. On it.
Yes, tailgun! It's a converted top nacelle.
So you got rid of my presets.
I never needed them.
Ah, man, your
So you
controls are all
say?
messed up.
Tailgun ready.
Ah, inverted. Yeah, they do.
Close range and engage.
The little silver ones definitely look like the...
Yeah.
Like old, like World War II. Kind of remember
Yeah.
those. You know, like the tails on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to anticipate.
Now's not the time for a lesson.
You're just a little rusty.
So, he's there, Shin's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been just running patrols, I guess.
Gang, anything yet?
I wonder how many people they have with them.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't recognize you.
Now! Woo! I got one! Good work.
Ah, yes. Oh!
2 more.
Combo.
If I had to guess, I would say it is some sort of hyperspace ring.
I'd like to confirm that.
It's pretty big for hyperspace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can fly right through it.
I am starting to receive data.
Manage the deflectors.
Copy.
It does look like flat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Usually they don't do that. Usually they just fly by.
Steady, steady. This is intolerable.
You wanted closer. Deflectors at 10%.
Yeah, Jedi.
Not good.
I don't know if any other pilot can get this close.
No. Maybe Hera.
Maybe Hera.
Han?
Just a moment.
Come on.
Scan complete.
No!
Well,
Destroyed.
That's not what she asked.
Land on it!
Dang it, I like that ship.
Yeah,
it's
but
in fairly good shape still.
not the ghost.
A lot of hits. No!
Not much. Our backup kicked in, but we're dead in space. No hyperdrive, no cannons.
We got incoming.
Work fast. I'm going out there.
What?
Out there. Out where? Just keep working. I'll distract them.
Is she gonna do like space deflecting?
It's real hard to deflect a ship blaster.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
Get an umbrella and some
I hope
birds.
you know what you're doing.
Oh my god, Ahsoka.
The size of her helmet.
It has to fit the tendrils.
I know.
Oh my god.
She's gonna cut a ship in
This
half,
is
isn't
such
she?
an Anakin Skywalker move.
Yeah.
There goes that guy.
Unnamed dude.
That's why they had 4 of them.
Get ready.
Yes. Bring the wing around. I love how it's on a dial. I
Yeah.
just said it.
That was neat.
Nice trick. Got any more?
Buckle up.
I don't know how that steers.
Weird. It's like a 2-stick yoke or something.
I'm tracking something up ahead.
Another ship?
No.
What? What is it?
It's a gaseous planet.
We're on the path.
Purgle.
It's a gaseous planet.
Purgle!
God, it's so big.
Look how whaley it looks.
Yes.
Looks so whaley.
Dude, I don't know.
They've been here fueling up.
Yep.
It's crazy to see him in live action.
There's so many.
I thought we hit the land, the ground, and it was just more Purgle.
Oh god.
Shut the power down.
I protest. I have a lot of work to do.
Standard Jedi protocol.
I suppose that's true.
Shutting down.
I would love to be able to shut down. Imagine you just go to sleep and you just, you know?
Who's gonna turn you back on, Eric?
Oh, you could have like a alarm.
An alarm?
Yeah, it turns you on.
Yeah, but you're powered down. You can't shut off
Probably
the
so
alarm.
much time trying to get to sleep.
There are 6 hyperdrive engines in place, with the final one being set into position.
So it is a hyperspace ring.
Yes.
Yeah, could a ring like that make a jump to a neighboring galaxy?
Theoretically, if one knew the coordinates and navigation, yes, I believe it could. The Jedi archives speak of intergalactic hyperspace lanes between galaxies, which used to follow the migration paths of star whales.
Yes.
Like the ones we just saw.
Really? When?
You missed it, buddy. Ray Stevenson, you're so cool.
The Jedi have taken refuge in the forest. Hunt them down.
HK droid.
What does he want?
No.
Hunt them down. It was very clear.
Steph Green. Yeah, but there's something behind him. I don't know.
There's red trees, Eric.
You're right. I didn't see that. Dang
And a
it.
bunch of soldiery dudes.
All right. Well, we got another look into the wonderful workings of the New Republic and how it'll never fall to fascism again.
Nope.
They're just so careful and they're so scared that they're gonna do something wrong that they're not doing the right things either.
Well, yeah.
Mon Mothma
Inaction is just as bad as the wrong action.
Sending like a scout to see if there is something that's actually happening is not a terrible plan.
Yeah.
No.
Don't send the whole fleet and send a squad with Hera or something,
Yeah,
you know?
but-
Just send some grouping.
I generally would listen to my, my hero level generals that are still on the payroll from the
Sure.
rebellion. I don't know. Hera, I mean, it's the same thing happened to Leia. Leia says the Forced Order is going to do something, and the Republic does nothing.
But we also don't know like how many times Hera has been wrong since then.
That's true.
Sure.
You know, like-
There's the stuff we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Right? So he thinks that you're just trying to get more resources to find your friend that we're pretty sure is dead, but you keep wasting resources for it. So there could have been multiple times they've tried to do that.
Yeah, they could have given them the benefit of the doubt again and again and again, and they just finally drew the line.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
The New Republic owes the crew of the Ghost everything.
A lot.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
A lot.
I mean,
like,
you
if
know,
they hadn't
Luke destroyed
dealt
the
with
Death
Thrawn.
Star, right? But
Sure.
if it hadn't have been, everything they did in Lothal, it's very possible we wouldn't have the Death Star, or we'd have the Death Star and TIE Defenders. And a group of TIE Defenders were probably much more dangerous. Having, like, squads of those...
Rather than TIEs.
As opposed to the TIEs that were much weaker, didn't have shields, didn't have hyperspace, right?
Yeah.
Like, TIE Defenders probably could have really changed the war for the
Like,
Empire.
they definitely would have been a head-to-head match for the X-Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, hell, even just Ezra's message he puts out in Season 1 of Rebels is the beginnings of the rebellion coming together.
Yeah.
They owe a lot to him, but we don't know what they have tried already.
Sure. Heck, in that one Thrawn book, Darth Vader flies a TIE Defender. He's like, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I look forward to seeing more of what you do with this.
Well, yeah, he got spoiled by Jedi starfighters.
Sure, right?
It's like, nothing the Empire has is as good as that.
But they didn't have it hyperspace either.
No.
But
they were
they had-
more maneuverable and had
And they had shields
deflectors
and, stuff like that too and whatnot, so...
We got to see Jacen Syndulla.
Yeah.
And they were smart enough to make his hair long enough where we don't have to see his weird pointy ears. Remember they had weird pointy ears in that epilogue?
Was it ears, or did he have, like...
Hey, green hair and
like-
pointy ears.
I thought he had
Almost
like cones on the side of his head or something.
They were pointy ears.
Were they pointy ears?
Yeah. Okay. I remember the human Twi'lek hybrids that we had in Clone Wars, and then I remember seeing Jacen's design in the end of Rebels and being like, that's just the epilogue, but I think it was one of the worst designs I had seen for a character, honestly. And I think that they did just enough here. Like the green shade of his hair is just, you can see it's green, you know?
He doesn't have pointy ears.
Does he not?
No.
Aren't they pointy and discolored?
They're just big. They're just big ears.
They are quite large.
Like,
Yeah.
they're
That poor kid.
They're not like pointed like an elf.
No,
or
I didn't.
that.
Yeah.
They're big.
Meant to be different than a normal
They're just
humans,
big
right?
and round.
I mean, I've seen humans with ears like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're unfortunately large.
Yeah. Green hair though. Green hair at least works.
Yeah, green hair and the vest.
And the pauldron.
Doesn't have the pauldron here.
No, he only has this.
His costume has evolved.
Sure.
Which I understand. Update the costume a little bit from, what was it? Maybe a year? 9 months ago.
He wants to be a Jedi.
Yep. It's a little late, kid.
Have him and Sabine training together.
I can see that. There's a
Man,
part of me
shines
that
I was gonna say.
there's a
she's
part of
gonna
me
be
that
so
would love
upset.
for like Ezra to become his master.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Ezra's dead.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what they say.
That's what Xiono says. He didn't even say like, look, we don't know what happened. He's like, no, he's dead. We're just gonna.
It is my opinion.
Our null
that he is
hypothesis
dead.
is
Yeah.
he's dead.
It is my opinion, my professional legal opinion, is that this is not worthwhile.
Like he says opinion. Like when you say opinion, doesn't mean it's fact.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean
it's
there's
my
truth.
opinion that this is worthwhile. So
Yeah. I love that. I loved her being like, "Were you in the war?"
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so you just waited to see who won.
Yeah.
You didn't choose a side or anything. You just kind of
And you just
waited around.
fell into this extremely high-ranking position so that you could form policy in this new republic.
And we saw the amnesty program that was going on in Mando season 3 too, right?
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of former Imperials that are still kicking,
Yeah.
still.
Even Mon Mothma, like we saw in like Andor, like she is trying to figure out ways to help. Like she's involved. She's risking things. She's not just sitting back and waiting and.
No, yeah.
Oh well, if the Empire falls, I'm with whoever's on top.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk assessment with Mon Mothma and what she can and can't do in Andor, and here it feels like it's almost the same, just flopped on the other side of the equation.
Sure.
Yeah. Mon Mothma almost feels like Schindler. You know what I mean? Like he's doing what he can to try to help as much as he can.
Working
but
within
also,
the system.
I can't get caught, or else I can't help as much either. Right?
Right.
Like he's. That's what it felt like in Andor of what she's trying to do and maneuver money and give it to rebels or whatever causes and stuff she can to fight this empire that she does not agree with.
Yeah. I like seeing Huyang in like trainer mode. Sure,
Yeah.
you play a little like bamboo cutting game with him.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
It's like, I wonder if you can download other apps.
It's like Beat Saber. You know?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
It is
to
like
play
Beat
Beat
Saber.
in there.
Where it's like you got to swing through certain things at certain points to.
In certain angles and stuff.
Yeah.
He hasn't updated his music in a
Not
little while.
good. Or not bad, but not good either. I like that. But no, it was a neat like training method.
Yeah.
I really like the ship that they have.
Yeah.
Like, having that come out of the floor and back into the floor makes sense to. Here's where we can meet. Here's where we can eat. Here's also where we can train.
And it's practical. It's so cool.
Seeing live action Purgill was cool.
Yeah.
They seem to look so much whalier than
Yeah.
in Rebels. You know, they were kind of much more rounded. These ones kind of remind me more of like the humpback whales, the way
Humpback
like
or like the
were.
blue whales with like the ridges.
Yeah,
on the
maybe that's
bottom.
what I'm thinking of. Yeah, where they have those ridges and those. I just thought that was really neat to see.
And they have little whiskers that come off like right behind the mouth line.
Yeah.
I want a puppet Purgle
Puppet
at
Purgle.
some point in this. You said like live action, but
Yeah. Like actually have something there on screen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You're looking at the way like I talk about like the Lion King
Yeah.
remake. I'm like, that's just a cartoon. A really, really good cartoon. They use real lions. You know?
Yeah.
No, but we do have confirmation that, and it's even talked about in the Jedi archives, that these hyperspace lanes are part of the Purgills' migration habits.
yeah. And then that information seemed to be like lost
Yeah.
at some point, or it's seen as
Well,
legend.
The Jedi archives were destroyed.
Well, but even like while he seemed to imply that it was like legend information.
Yeah, it kind of felt like almost like a fairy tale feeling to it. But
Well, what was the Paraday, right? What's another one that they mentioned of? I mean, we know Purgill are real.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't seem like they're commonly seen in the galaxy,
I would say
right?
not.
They travel through hyperspace, so you're probably not gonna. It's not very often you run into something in hyperspace.
I mean, you
typically,
think it'd be like
you know?
goose in airplanes. Like it happens sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Just space
I mean-
is so big.
Yeah, but also,
Well, but there are lanes that
Sure, yeah.
are defined, right?
but it depends, I guess, too, of like what
Yes
you
and
do.
no, because you're going into a different reality and
Well,
that
like-
shit.
In Mandalorian, well, one, the Mandalorian was asleep during the hyperspace run, and Grogu saw it. But also, what he saw was some shadow, right? It wasn't like it was right there and you saw it and you could see what it was. So
Yeah.
you could have fairy tales, kind of the same idea of like how you get mermaids, right?
The Kraken.
Yeah, stuff like that, where it's like, oh, the mermaids off the sides, like those were manatees, but they didn't know it and they couldn't really see very well. It's like,
Imagine,
oh,
like-
beautiful women down there swimming in the sea, you know?
Imagine just like year one of hyperspace travel, just like how scary everything must be. Everything. You just go a little bit scared.
Yeah, right? I'm sure. So yeah, they must be kind of not common, or they hide among gas giants or something like that to get their fuel sources and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
I also talked about like speed here. So like, so you're still like traveling
Yes.
through hyperspace.
You are. It's just that the speed's not necessarily relative to the time you're in the hyperspace, but like you have better technology, then the faster you can go. Or I don't know. It's fiction. I don't know. I mean, there's contradictory things in it too.
There could be like speeds within hyperspace you could do too, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe similar to like the idea of like Ant-Man. When like he goes into the subatomic world, like maybe you get smaller and you get real small and you get real small, and like there's more and more and more you can get to.
Yeah.
But maybe that's part of it that they're looking
And then
at.
just being able to send that amount of mass past the speed of light, even to get into hyperspace, has to be crazy. Something that big.
Sure.
You know, the Death Star had a bunch of that.
And or if it can gather a super Star Destroyer, take it with it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the two.
Because like, why does make it a ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like the ones on the side, they have like clamps or something that come down, is what it looks like to me. But yeah, exactly. Why else make it a ring? Why not make it a long, skinny thing?
Yeah, the only things we've seen like that have been hyperspace rings meant for like the Jedi starfighters and stuff to take those ships that didn't have hyperspace.
Which
so,
those were roughly like delta shaped, like
yeah.
Star Destroyer.
So you have their Star Destroyer that isn't capable of intergalactic travel. You hook it up to this thing that is and bring it back home.
Yeah.
Start a war.
This stuff's nuts. I mean, we very well could just be going into another galaxy and then having brand new stories happening completely outside of the sequel trilogy, you know?
Yeah, like he has no intention of coming back. He's already king.
Yeah. King Thrawn. Ezra them are together. I don't know.
I feel like he could go to any place as long as they could have some kind of communication. He would succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's running the whole empire out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
We actually heard Marrok speak this time. He does have that modulated voice in his helmet. I don't know why this last week has just been people trying to figure out who Marrok is. It's Barasafi. It's Ezra. It's all these characters because we can't see his face, and now we don't really understand it or can't really perceive his voice very well. I saw a lot of people being like, Sam Witwer's in the credits. It has to be him.
What? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
He's been an additional voice in like every Star Wars project for so long.
Like they just.
I don't know.
Like Star Killer or just like Sam Witwer's playing somebody.
There's a lot of different.
I think it's Matthew Wood. He's in the credits a lot.
He's in the credits.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. But I mean, just by seeing a lot of people speculate on him, every time he pops in, I am kind of like, is he just like lightsaber fodder? A body that we can use when we have a fight, or is he going to be?
Is there a deal with him that we don't know yet?
I don't know.
Sure. Because like, how much do you put into there? Because we already have Baylan and Shin that we don't know much about too. So I don't know. Maybe having someone else connected more to like Clone Wars era or something like that, or Rebels or something.
I'm not sure exactly. I saw somebody say Marrok derives its name from like Arthurian legend as well. But I'm not sure who he is or whatever there.
Marrok.
Mm-hmm. Marrok, Marrok.
I do not remember that name. He's mentioned twice. That's why I don't remember him.
Okay.
What's his name, Rick?
One of Arthur's bodyguards.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Baylan.
He seems to be kind of just a body for Baylan's group.
He has that cool, like lightsaber hilt with the little tiny thingies off of it.
We're getting more of, but the spotlight on Sabine's Force ability and how important is it that you are strong in the Force versus use the Force in the ability that you already have, right? Like I did like the line, I don't want her to be a Jedi, I want her to be herself. And we can use Jedi philosophy to kind of bring that out.
Sure.
Because that was one of Sabine's fun things, was the kind of war she had of being a Mandalorian in the way that she was versus how she was raised by Hera and Kanan a little bit.
I like the teamwork they had in the flight combat scene. Where it started being like, let's communicate between the two of like, here's what I'm doing, what are you doing? Not just, I'm going to fly separate from you just shooting at stuff.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
It's like when you're driving the Warthog and you're on the cannon.
Yeah, exactly.
They're on the left
So like,
side.
watching A New Hope, there's not communication necessarily happening too much in that magnitude between like Leia and Chewie at the cockpit versus Han and Luke shooting,
Yeah.
But they also let them get away. They're supposed to be easy.
Sure.
And I'm sure Han and Chewie have worked together a lot.
Sure.
How shitty must have those TIE fighter pilots felt, knowing you just have to go out there and get shot so that they can get away.
I would hope they didn't tell them.
Engineers like turned the power on their blasters way down. It's like, no, what's happening?
It didn't work.
Little farm boy shooting you. I got one. It's like, I can't do anything.
I also like the line we talked about a little bit, but the long line of untraditional Jedi. Like Ahsoka is continuing that, Sabine's not your traditional Jedi. There's not many Mandalorians that have ever been Jedi.
I could 100% see Qui-Gon in this position, trying to teach somebody that doesn't have it,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
It's just like a non-mutant going to the Xavier school. Just,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're still going to get some good lessons.
Sure. But no, I mean, Dooku was very different. Like Dooku, Qui-Gon, Yoda I don't know as much about to get his untraditional aspect of him, but Dooku was older and royalty and then got to stay kind of in the royalty and in the Jedi Order, but not actually in the Jedi Order. Like there was a weird thing with him, and there's just it is an interesting line of Jedi through them. Whereas it's typically very different if you
I would
look
say
at almost
Obi-Wan in that line
everyone
is the
else.
most conventional, right?
He is,
And
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
because Qui-Gon was so unconventional.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, they the idea that they had with him because he was so rebellious in his younger days, they made him a conventional Jedi by putting him with Qui-Gon Jinn so that he would fight against Qui-Gon, who would fight against the Jedi, and thus he was fighting for the Jedi.
Ironically, making Obi-Wan one of the most perfect Jedi.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Reverse psychology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they went for.
They tricked me.
And then it did kind of feel like an Anakin move where it's just like, all right, I'll just go outside and beat him up.
Felt like that one episode of Star Wars Visions.
Yeah, a little bit. The twins one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what was the? There's one point whenever they're waiting for it's in Clone Wars. They're waiting for the Separatists to come through, and they utilize the asteroids, and they're sitting outside and use their ground troops and stuff to come around. It kind of makes me think of that a little bit too, where they're just outside in space, being like, "All right, get them."
All right. Well, it was a shorter episode, but it did feel like that very extended action sequence from like space to the ground. That kind of felt like a Clone Wars scene to me. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I felt like the speed of the ships, the shot choices, all that stuff really matched Clone Wars the most to me.
Sure.
Whereas sometimes I feel like, especially in space, it's hard to make this stuff feel fast. But this one had a good speed to it.
Yeah, it did. I also like the edit for the training aspect between Ahsoka and Sabine, because like there was a point too where like I was like, what are we doing? Where are we? Like it was cutting and stuff. Like I'm confused.
No, Ahsoka would cross the
180
line. Yeah. It really worked for that.
So I thought that was cool too, with just like making me feel what she's feeling in that moment.
Yeah. And then we talked about it a little bit too, but for those that don't know, there's a character from a show called Star Wars Resistance, Kaz, and his father is a senator from Hosnian Prime, which is the main system of the New Republic. Unfortunately, the one that we also see blown up in The Force Unleashed, along with
Awakens.
I'm sorry, I say it all the time. Damn, Sam Witwer.
Think about Starkiller.
I know. So it's cool to see him in here too, and I think also appropriate to see him being so, not bullheaded, but set in his ways, because we do kind of get that a little bit of what we see of him in Resistance as well.
Sure.
But yeah, that's Christopher Sean's daddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird the way you say that.
It's not.
All right. Well, we didn't have a poll last week.
Yeah.
But I figure we'll have a poll this week. Maybe make it about, do you think Marrok is anyone that we know?
You had a weird feeling about that last shot of Baylan, it felt like.
Well, Baylan he's interesting to me just because I feel like he says one thing, but his face says another sometimes. Like, I truly believe that when he says, I'm looking for absolute power, that's what he wants, but how exactly? Like, what's the power he's looking for? Is he looking just for Thrawn? Is he looking for what's on Thrawn's ship? We talked a little about this at PopCon with some fans, but the Chimera, which is Thrawn's flagship, went with them, and on the Chimera is the temple on Lothal that was put back together brick by brick.
Reassembled
that does
by
house
order
the
of the
world between
Emperor.
worlds. So could Baylan, who's also seemed to be gifted with premonitions, is that the power he's talking about, or is it something else? But it's unrelated to Marrok. I don't know who Marrok is.
Yeah.
I kind of hope he's not anybody.
That's what I was wondering, like, as a poll-wise, like,
Yeah.
do you think it's anyone that we would know? Or is it just, like when we went to, Twilight of the Apprentice, what planet? Malachor.
Yeah.
We went there, you had, like, what, the seventh sister, I think it was.
Eighth brother?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You had Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
You had that brother.
Yeah.
And you had another guy he was just someone else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unrelated to anything, just another Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Like, is he like that? Or is it...
I love him. Because he was the one that finally, the Inquisitor saber broke while he was flying with it. Just fell to his death. Supposedly.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Maybe,
down there
maybe
in Broken Land.
He has weird hands. He has like two thumbs, that guy. The eighth brother, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that on him. But yeah, I don't
He
know.
had to get a lot replaced from that
Yeah,
ball.
you're right. He could
Fifth
be.
brother was
Two
the
hands.
big guy, right?
Huh?
Fifth brother was the
brother.
big guy.
That's the one from Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the triangle hat.
Sister. Yeah, that's Han.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So Marrok, what do you guys think?
I think he's somebody new.
Yeah.
I do think he was definitely like a former Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
When the Empire fell, he was off doing something else. Didn't get caught.
Be interesting that he does. I mean, he's a former Inquisitor, but he does have a name now. So
Yeah.
is that a return to a name he had before? Is that a new name after being an Inquisitor?
I don't know.
What's his was he a Jedi? Was he raised as an Inquisitor? There's a lot of
Well,
interesting things
his
there.
age would indicate that he was probably known to the Jedi Order. He was found or taken, like...
Well, I mean, where are you assuming his age is?
I would say, like, mid to high 20s.
Would you say that just because of, like, his, like, presence, his physique and stuff?
Like, he reminds me of, like
he could be...
Clone Wars Anakin.
Yeah.
But just maybe a little not so much high-headed.
Sure.
You know?
What if he's like Deathstroke? He's like an old man in there, you know?
Old man?
Sure.
Old skinny man?
It's like older Quinlan. they caught him and they tricked his mind, and now he's fighting for the Empire.
Man, he's gone through a lot, Aaron. We read Dark Disciple.
He has. He's gone through a lot.
Okay.
They like lobotomized him and put one of those
kind of in a way like they messed
the visor
with his mind
things.
And he's I don't know.
All right, well, that's a little bit of what we think. We want to hear what you have to think. What are your Marrok theories? Over at patreon.com/blindawave, where you can find that poll and comment down below. We'll talk about it at the beginning of next episode.
Another week.
Guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Ahsoka right here at Wave Squadron. Please hit the subscribe button, because not only do we talk about reactions and stuff to all the new stuff, but we'll talk about everything on our monthly podcast, Badonkagonk. You gotta make sure you subscribe and check out the next Badonkagonk as well. We'll be talking about Ahsoka, the book.
It's like next week.
Ooh, damn.